begin indeed. Hello people, so Jerry speaking. Welcome to Crazy Bunch Web Shows number 122. Before we begin this episode, I'd like to say I'm sorry for a huge delay with the past. Since yesterday, mostly because I've been tired and everything else, but regardless, I'm back to do Crazy Bunch Web Shows number 122 for you guys. That was supposed to air yesterday, but it will still happen. But anyway, today we got not one, not two, but 6 dev topics today, and we got 2 news reports to share with you. So let's do it now, shall we? So we got for us. Her name is Carol Shalom, born Carol Shu Albach. She was an American journalist, broadcaster, author, and public speaker. She was born on Carol Shu Albach in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on May 17th, 1949. For many years, she is believed her birthday was May 19th. Wow. She was raised in New York, New Jersey, okay? A graduate from Syracuse University, Shalom had a dual degree in English and journalism. While in school, she was a member of the Semi-Dual Tall sorority. She had 2 children with her first husband, Jack Shalom. Anyway. Resided in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with her second husband, Paul Rathball. She died from leukemia in her home on August 30th, 2025. She was 86 years old. In a month before her death, she began speaking of journalists in the New York Times, and the Philadelphia Advisor disclosed that she was terribly ill and helping prepare opportunities. Her career began with this. She wrote 8 books. They include Dr. Snow, How the FBI Nailed an Elite League, Key, Straight Talk, How to Get Closer to Offers by Saying Who You Really Mean, a Guide to Good Health. She collaborated with photographer Sharon Warburg on 5 essay books. The more popular, Sisters spent 63 weeks on New York Times bestseller list and sold over 1 million copies. It was followed by Mothers and Daughters, which hit number 1 every national bestseller list. First bestseller, Best Friends, completed this trilogy. 4th book, Sisters 10th Anniversary Edition, came out in October 2004. Day Life of an American Woman was published in October 2005. She also was a senior writer in Philadelphia magazine for more than 3 decades, where she specialized in health profiles and innovation reports. Her articles appear in various disguise, very art circles, More, Red Book, Self, and Cosmo Girl. She also hosted Fresh Kitchen, a daily cooking program on CNN 8. For nearly a decade, she appeared on regular panelists on the Southern Public Affairs program, Inside Story. Her national television appearances include The Oprah Winfrey Show, Phil Donahue Show, Larry King Show, American Journal, Inside Edition, CBS Good Morning, The Weekend Today Show, and Good Morning America. She was also a public speaker and moderator for good lectures and worship nationwide. And that's all for that topic. And then my next step topic has to do with Joe Berger, born, oh man, that's harder than doubt. So, Joseph Carl Berger. He was a Hungarian-born British Australian professional boxer who competed in heavyweight division. An actor. He traveled nationwide, originally being a citizen in Hungary, but becoming a national citizen by that. Of both the United Kingdom and Australia. He unsuccessfully challenged Muhammad Ali for the heavyweight championship in 1975, losing by an unanimous decision. As an actor, he was often known for his various roles in films such as starring Bud Spencer for this role in 1994 action film Street Fighter alongside Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia. Born in southwestern Hungary, Berger in his family led in the 1976, 56 with that Soviet expansion. And so in Britain, set at 6 feet 4 inches, 1.93 meters, the prime weight of 16 stone, 1 pound. Wow. 225 pounds, or 102 kilograms. Bunker twice held the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles, and it was a 3-time EBU European heavyweight champion. He was ranked along with the world's top 10 heavyweights of the 70s. Wow. Fighting with such opponents as Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Ron Lai, Jimmy Ellis, Manuel Ramos, Chuck Raper, Ari Shavers, Ari Cooper, Brian Runners, anyway. Matt Foster, Willie Roberts, Karate, Brian Ryan, and George Johnson. Anyways, the very Telegraph ranked him among the top 10 British heavyweight boxers of all time. He retired from boxing in 1976, but made sponsored comebacks over the next 2 decades of various success. He moved to Australia in 1986, adopting the nickname Aussie Joe. Wow. Okay? Defeating fighters such as Greg Page. Not the Greg Page of Wiggles, but we're talking about another Greg Page. Anyways, David Bay, Andrews Ogland, and James Tillis, before retiring again after the TKO loss to Frank Bowe in 1987. He made a final comeback during the 90s, to win the Australian heavyweight title in 1995. He was born then. Anyway, and widely regarded World Boxing Federation, WBF for short. Heavyweight championship in 1998, at the age of 48, against James World Crusher Smith. He retired for the last time in 1999. The final record of 69-13-1. He scored 41 wins by knockout. His early years began with this. He was born in Sark, Hungary on March 13, 1950. His family fled the United Kingdom in the late 50s because of the Soviet Union's invasion in Hungary in 1956 after Hungarian Revolution of that year. Eventually, he was one of about 8 referees housed in the students' hostel, some of that on the assembly factory in the Webash. The son of the housing Dorshire town of St. Ives near the Fens. Barker excelled in the sports in the school, wow, okay, and was a national junior discus champion in 1964. He lived and trained in Bedford during his early years of boxing. He was a regular at Bedford Boys Club under the training of Paul Kane, and attended Carleton Road School in Bedford. His boxing career began with this, in the 60s through the 90s, by that. 60s is where he started. Anyway, throughout this bravely emerging career, Boxer completed 16 times, winning 13 matches under the organization of his friend's trainer and friend, Andy Smith. He began as a professional in 1957, young at the age of 17. Smith was unhappy with the choice of brothers and opponents with that. Anyway, I believe anyone could better control the quality of the opponents as Berger turned professional. He had a losing debut against Paul Brown on December 20th, 1987, at Ron Hilton, when he suffered TKOs in the third round. Showing gravity diminished after his debut, the teenage Berger went on to win a remarkable 18 competitive fights in under 2 years during 1968 and 1969. He scored 13 stoppage victories before narrowly losing to older, vastly more experienced Dick Hall. He bounced back in the round off in the 60s with 3 further stoppage victories. 70s, okay? This was where he started to feel like doing this. In 1970, Berger emerged internationally as outstanding young prospect from that, and was world rated by the end of that year. He won 9 consecutive bouts that year, with victories over well-known boxers such as Chuck Whipper, Mayo Ramos, Johnny Prescott, Brian London, Andrew Correa for that, Charlie Polite, and George Johnson. Anyways, he is now partner to George world-rated Englishman Harry Cooper, who had previously knocked out Mary Ally a few years previously. Wow. For Cooper's British, Commonwealth, and European titles. Okay? Because Berger was still too young to fight the British Commonwealth title. The minimum age was 21 years old at the time. This much had been indicated bout had to be postponed until the following year. Well, whether they could become an age in 1971, defeated Carl Gissy, and drew the Bill Joseph in that just weeks later, weeks before facing Cooper. Berger earned the Anyways, Berger earned the reputation early in his professional years. It's a tough. Sorry about that, everyone. But anyway, Berger earned the reputation early in his professional years as a tough, durable, but often, especially defensive and cautious boxer. He retains that image with the rest of his career. He was often criticized for lacking natural aggression in the ring. Hang on, be right back. I'm bad, folks. Sorry about that. I have to get some water, look at some stuff. Anyway, let's get back to the show right now, so shall we? So we got for us. Anyways, Berger earned a reputation early in his professional years as a tough, durable, but often, especially excuse me. Anyways, defensive like that and cautious boxer. So anyway, he remained the image the rest of his career. Wow. Gotta get a drink real quick. Okay, that's better. Okay, where was I? Oh yes, Berger earned a reputation early in his professional years as a tough, durable, but often especially defensive and cautious boxer. Anyways, he retained the image for the rest of his career. He was often criticized for lacking natural aggression in the ring. Okay? Some observers argue that Berger's heart was never been boxing. Never early opponent, Argo Regis, from that, died from the brain injuries soon after being appointed by Berger at London's Sargewood Town Hall. Wow. Defeated Henry Cooper. In March 1971, he met veteran Cooper and won 15 round decisions from that. He won a bout by simians of margins. Won the fourth point under the call of the lone official Harry Gibbs. Wow, okay. The British sporting public press were deeply divided about the verdict. Many that felt that Cooper deserved the decision due to steady aggression from that. Berger fought eventually in the defense and often scored within the left jab. Times from that, among others, scored the fight in favor of Berger. The outcome is regarded as controversial for many years. Nonetheless, Berger is now the British Commonwealth European champion. The first time he was ranked among the world's top 10 heavyweights at the time. It will remain in world reigns the world reigns in the most in the 70s. Wow, okay. He remained, okay. He retained his European title decision over the tough German heavyweight Jürgen Bled. However, later in 1971, the same year, he was surprisingly lost decision to underdogs Jack Bogle and Larry Middleton. Sandwiched between those losses was a victory over Mike Basel. The Bogle fight was personally costly to partially Bogle the British Commonwealth and European Championships. His latest experience is youth and lack of the experience of Margaret and boundary were backwards, but anyway, was the chief case of his defeats. In 1972, he won the 8 competitive fights, including a knockout over Gordon Bled for the European Championship. By the end of that year, by the end of this, everything like that. He also decided much improved ring, eventually accomplishing enough experience with that. That his manager began seeking matches against the world's best heavyweights. Prime years, something like that. Anyway, but he also began 1973 by retaining his European belt with the victory over the kebab of Dutchman Roy Rovers. 23-year-old had then lost 12-round decisions to Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, something like that. Despite being clearly defeated, Bogner fought well and won the respect of the boxing media and the public alike. After the bout, Ali declared that Bogner was capable of being the world champion, something like that. His trainer, Ali's trainer, Dundee, something like that, later just echoed that sentiment, something like that. The fight was with Frazier in July 1973 at Earl's Court in London, was deemed a classic. After being knocked down by the tremendous left hook in the 10th round, he also arose and staggered Frazier to close the round. Frazier took a decision, but only naturally argued that only George Foreman and Muhammad Ali ever gave Frazier a hard fight. Many regard that Frazier bout to be being Bogner's best career performance. After Ali and Frazier fights, Bogner won 8 bouts in a row. His most natural victories being over ex-WBA World Heavyweight Champion Jimmy Allies and Mike Foster. By the end of 1974, he also rated among the top 5 heavyweight contenders in the world. Wow. He also challenged Muhammad Ali for the World Championship in June 1975. Wow. Bout being held in Carpet Ballpark, with Ali win a relatively one-sided 15-round decision. He also performed fairly but maintained a strongly defensive proportion for that throughout most of the fight, perhaps due to the blistering tropical heat. As a result, he was widely stormed by the media and the public. In an interview during the April 2008 reunion with Henry Cooper, he also defended his tactics in the Ally fight as the heavy been necessary due to the extreme temperature and humidity from that of the outside venue. Regains British and European accomplishments titles. Early 1976, he also announced his retirement from boxing, stating he has no longer felt motivated to fight professionally. Within months after, however, he returned to the ring. He especially discussed Richard Dunn's performance against Ally, and in October, he defeated Richard Dunn the first round knockout with to claim the British Commonwealth and European Championships. In 1977, however, Bogner lost a close close a 12-round decision away from the home and top contender while with that. Scores were 57, 53, 56, 54, something anyway. For Raw against 55, 54 for Butler, something that. After this bout, he also again retired, making only Spurs comebacks in the ring over the next decades, something like that. 1980s. Anyways, but he also returned to the ring for a brief period in the 80s and 90s. It was never effective. He has been during this prime due to his age and activity. After the 3-year absence in the ring, he also returned in May 1980, knocking out French contender Gabriel Ajuda before preparing to retire again. In 1982, Ray Rusty Butler had already had only one short fight in 5 years and weighing some of the 25 pounds above in his prime fighting weight. Fight over the Heartland top contender Ari Savers, but was stopped in the second round due to the badly cut eye. Yeez. Anyway, however, Butler decided to continue his combat, stopping the useful John Dennis, the French contender son, and as well as the Hollywood contenders Winston Howard and A. Nelson. In 1983, a summit dated motive Butler lost to Morris Brazier, showing a little ability throughout the bout. He followed this with a decision over the future European champion Andrews Ogland, and a controversial loss to future world title challenger Stefan Tyson, like that. But he also appeared to have done enough to win the championship fight. However, like with the fracture and Ogland bout, he also appeared unmotivated and uninterested throughout. Coming back in Australia in 1986, he also moved to Australia, where he adopted the nickname Aussie Joe after becoming an Australian citizen. In Australia, he also launched a very successful comeback, earned good victories over world title contenders James Torres and David Bay, and an impressive victory over former WBA heavyweight champion Greg Page. Not the Greg Page from the Wiggles. I'm talking about the other Greg Page. Getting a world ranking in the progress. Something like that. After which he spoke of challenging World Jane heavyweight champion Mike Tyson. Okay? Makes sense? However, there was a great climber in the fight with Frog, Ryan, Britton, something like that. Frank Bruno. The bout was tied as the biggest all-British heavyweight bout since Cooper versus Butler, not to say what. The bout took place on October 24th, 1987. Anyway, more next. And Butler suffered an 8-round TKO loss to much younger and fresher world to title contender for the Commonwealth Championship in front of the huge crowd of White Hart Land football stadium. He also prepared to retire again following this defeat, only first established defeat for 20 years. 1990s, spotted 45-year-old George Foreman recaptured the heavyweight title. He also made a final combat in the year I was born, that he fought, beating Vince Curry, something like that. Anyway. That was anyway. To win the Australian heavyweight title. Followed the win over West Her. He also then fought fellow Britain, world title contender Scott Welch, and WBO Consular heavyweight title. Welch began proved too young to fresh now 46-year-old brother, handing him the TKO, defeating him 4-6 rounds, something like that. He also continued to fight on against far young opponents. In 1996, he defeated the respective young Barcia in the Pacific and Australian heavyweight title, retaining it against Walaski in 1997. And the Australian title by defeating the tough Colin Wilson and defending both titles against Bob Moravec in 1998. In the same year, he also is his long-term capacity gave him a world crowd, the WBA for that version of the heavyweight crowd, but defeating former WBA World Heavyweight Champion James Crusher Smith. At the age of 48 years and 210 days, he made Buggers the oldest ever boxer to hold a World Championship belt. He also fought just once more, and in June 1999, at the age of 49, he defeated the Burger French competitor, Levy Bobs, who was disqualified for low blows. Fight record, his record for 83 professional fights with 69 wins, 41 on knockouts, and 13 losses and 1 draw. In an interview in 2004, he said that the hardest puncher he had ever faced was Ari Slavers. The biggest beating that he took was from Ron Raw. West outside boxing. At New Australia, he and his wife Marie opened a vineyard. It failed in 1989, but he lost a measure of $2 million Australian dollars. Wow. A lot of money. He worked in the film industry. During the 70s, he appeared on one of the several PSAs themed Be Smart, Be Safe, which I never seen it yet. But anyway, he's still instructing children on how to safety cross the road on the street. In 1979, Burger featured the Italian film, I can't pronounce it, sorry, El Sol John Joe Apollo May Tammy, I can't pronounce it, sorry, with Bob Spencer, Terrence Hill, some of that. He worked again with Spencer throughout the 80s, and he worked as an expert advisor on the Russell Crowe film Cinderella Man, was a film about heavyweight boxer James J. Burgett, some of that. Burgett was dropped part way from the project, was just called Girl, a girl was warm with that bleep girl. Anyway, move on. Burgett suffered a serious back injury. He sustained from the trade and for the fights in the middle years. Financial problems here him to re-enter the ring, such as advanced age. A benefit was held in Butler in 2008 with Kevin Rushing, something like that. In November 2009, he also replaced Kevin Durham on day 4 of the British TV show I'm Celebrity But Get Me Out of Here. He left the show on day 16 after losing to Bush Tucker, anyway. Wow. Trial judge John Joe Jail. The fellow celebrity Stuart Manning. Wow. He had 3 children, James, Joe Jr., and Amy, with his ex-wife Melody. His autobiography, Joe Barter, My Story, was published by New Harmon Publishing Australia in November 2013. He spent his final years in dementia and died at care home in Brisbane, Australia on September 1st, 2025, which is last Monday. He was 35 years old. My next step topic has to do with Graham Greene. Born that name, he was best known as a Canadian First Nations Audrina actor and recording artist, acting in film, TV, and theater. In a career span over 50 years. Wow. He achieved international fame as well as Kicking Bird, Deirdre and Kevin Costner's Dance of the Wolves 1990, which earned him the Academy Award nomination Best Supporting Actor. His other nomination films include Fight the Heart in 1992, Maverick in 1994, Die Hard Revenge in 1995, Year Was Born, The Green Mile in 1999, Skin in 2002, Tri-Rated in 2005, Casimir Jack in 2010, Winner's Tale in 2014, The Stack in 2017, and Rain River the same year. In addition to Oscar nominations, He also won a Grammy Award, Grammy Award, Canadian Screen Award, and Dara Maver Blue Award. In 2025, he received a Governors General Public Performing Arts Award. He was born in Russia, born on June 22nd, 1952, in Russia and the Six Nations region in Ontario. The son of John and prosaic mentions man and William Green. He lived in Edmonton, Ontario as a young man. He was second cousin once removed of fellow actor Gary Farmer, best known for the roles of the Steve for Double the Dragon, and I talk about this in my reaction videos of Mrs. K's Clubhouse, Wobbly for the Big Cubby Couch. You know, that's just me. Anyway, I mean, Pickle Pop Pop's coming up Wobbly to me. Anyway, before moving to acting, Green worked as a draftsman, civil technologist, steel worker, and rock band group member. He works as an audio technician for Toronto rock bands in the recording studio in Manchester, Ontario. He was related to musician Kelly J, repeatedly encouraged him to try out for the play. Kevin Grosher, in a 2012 interview of Green, stated that country reports Green did not attend the Toronto-based Central to Emerging Fears Native Spears School program, but rather helped run the institutive director of the school supporting local arts organization. New York Times, a group of Green, however, said that states that he graduated from the Century in 1974. By the 70s, he began performing this professional theater in Toronto, England. And in 1976, he presented the University of Western Ontario's touring workshop performance in George Rary's Waukesha. Star's debut was an episode of The Great Detective in 1979. His film debut was in 1983 in the movie called Running Brave. However, on viewing his first television role, Green decided that was awful. It was probably to him to learn to act as a profession, something like that. His favorite career began with this. Green partially worked as a native art performing arts, as well as known for his performance by Dry Lips on move the Cobb Flaxing, pronounce it. It's an automated drum Pier St. Pierre. However, it was also performed in the Crowd Walker and the History of Village and Small Huts. In 2007 Stratford Festival, he portrayed Shylock in Marring of Vintage and Money and Mice and Men. Wow. And television career began with this. Television career with the role began with this role in the CBC series Spirit Bay in 1984 and 1986, where he played Pete Bob Green. The show was one of the first despite humongous thriving cultural interactions. Throughout the 90s, Green was a fractional guest star. He was portrayed Shaman Leonard Quinhag, pronounce it, on Northern Exposure, a character whose traditionally practiced often credited with modern medicine. He also took the role of the exposed lovely Edgar K.B. Martrab on the Red Green Show. A character he was revisited periodically until 2006. His other notable roles from this era includes playing Hushy on the HBO film The Last of the Tribe in 1992, and the beloved Mr. Krabby Tree in the children's television series The Adventures of Duncan the Dragon in 1994 until 1999 until it got cancelled in 1999. Anyways, did it got cancelled in 1999? It's just after 5, 93, 97. But anyway, very around until 1999. But anyway, move on. He also made a guest appearance at the sketch comedy show Royal Canadian Air Fairs in 1994. Anyways, from 1997 to 2001, Green hosted the various science documentary series, Exhibit A, Secrets of Flourishing Science. He later starred the short-lived series Wolf Lake in 2001. And co-starred with 2 TV movies attempting to revive the beach covers 2002 and 2004. In 2010s, Green continued to take on diverse guest roles. He presented the documentary The World That Made America in 2006, and appeared on shows like Numbers, for example, and had a recurring role of Dr. Arthur in Being Erica in 2010 and 2011. American comic turned show had him parody Pay Retriever, something like that. Commercials and on Ring Mercer Report. For 2012-2017, he played the villainous Marshall Spade on Longmire. More recently, Green appeared on Spot Eagle in the 1883 series in 2022. He joined the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the miniseries Echo in 2024. And in 2023, he guest starred in Discovery acclaimed series such as Merchant Dogs and Last of Us. Anyways, his most guest starred in the 2024 episode of Merchant Closet Kings. Anyway, as a medicine man named Old Smoke. His movie career began with this. His Krabby Award-winning nominated role as Kicking Bird, Joshua Colin Water from that. In the 1990s film Dancing with Wolves, showcased his talents and audience beyond his native Canada. In an interview with Cinema Sign Movie, Green recounts the story of being tossed from the horse beat during production. With director Costner, as he was wanting to pray, the actor retorted that he was more interested in finding the horse for playback. He stated it would be difficult for him to learn how to speak the required language properly. Having not grown up to speak a native language, he said, I couldn't figure out how they ordered their language. It was struggled to totally forget into English or French. He also appeared in the commercial action mystery film Thunderheart in 1992, playing Walter Quail Horse, a gruff, shouty drove cop business living in an American Indian reservation. He was quickly to sign up in the movie, stated, I love the Badlands. If my agent said, I got a film for you, it's in South Dakota. You gotta ride a motorcycle. I said, I'm in. Wanna read it? You don't have to. In 1994's Maverick, he also led to good reviews of the sidekick to Mel Gibson. In the screen of the movie, the Los Angeles Times noted that Green, something like that, as a trophy modern Native American who explained the inspirations of toys and attractions of Russian adventures got the most laughs. He also acted alongside Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson 1995 film Die Hard Revenge, where he played Detective Joe Lambert. Anyways, he also featured in the Alan Bierenbach, who was a big convicted of murder. With Invention of Death Row, an Oscar-nominated Green Mile in 1999. The band was an elder of the Waspy tribe, the member of the Corby Transfer. His nickname was the Chief. The character's is the first witness in the movie. Despite start to finish, is known as being a very controversial part towards a progressive pronunciation. Anyway, he co-starred as Slick Nominee with Adam Beach and Wes Sobey in the films Fear of the Time in 2004 and Colby Wales in 2003. Both adapted Terry Harriman novels in the same names and produced by Robert Redford. In 2005, he played the Marshall love interest, the female lead in Transamerica. Okay, review of the movie, praises Green's performance having charming urbanism, but also noticed that his character is allowed to find that transgender character Travi was allowed to be open-minded because he's a Navajo. In other words, spiritual, open-minded outsider and openness to the typical middle American. He also worked with Aaron Sorkin in Molly's Game in 2017, as well as the judge. The actor recalled Aaron Sorkin, the director, was looking for me sitting behind the bench. But I was puzzled, look at my face. He said, "Are you alright?" I said, yeah, I just never had seen the bench with the side before. I'll work. He also provided a pre-recorded narration of Tensho Match. I haven't announced it, sorry. Tensho, sorry, pronounced it. Anyway. The highly recommended outdoor show held on Ohio. Wow. Based on the live illustration of Saudi Chief in the same name, he portrayed Sitting Bull in the short historical bench, but not pronounced it. Anyway. In 2018, it was Green acted the beloved Native American elder Chief Rainfall. Anyway. In the Western Beam video game, Red Dead Redemption 2. His personal life and death. His wife, Haley Blackmore, lived outside Toronto, Canada. A small army of cats. Wow. He had one daughter with actor Carol Lazar. He enjoyed riding, building boats, and playing golf, and knowing I just want to go play. I don't care who's looking. He has a game where you get to play against yourself. Anyways, he stated that he had no interest in migrating south to California to paroles. There is no reason to live there. Working actor can live anywhere as long as you have a phone, a fax, and know that the airport is. Regarding his time to play Mr. Krabby Tree in the following up role in the pre-team show Eric's Wood, he noted that I spent a year playing tennis, doing kids shows. When discussing Native people in the film, Green noted that he would like to see the violations of his people is more solid, saying my people are very funny. In June 2008, he awarded the honorary doctorate of law degree Bradford campus of Warwick University. He is appointed a member of the Order Candidacy M in 2015 Canadian Honors. He died in Sudbury, Ontario on September 1st, 2025, which is last Monday, which is Labor Day. Holiday, which we're American. He was 73 years old. The next topic has to do with Scott Spiegel, born that name. He was an American screenwriter, film director, and producer and actor. He co-wrote the screenplay for Evil Dead 2 with longtime friend, film director Sam Raimi, who was best known for Spider-Man and other things. Whom he attended Raleigh E. Groves High School in Birmingham, Michigan. Wow. Spiegel played the role of Scotty in Raimi's Wood in the Woods, which served as the producer of the Evil Dead. Spiegel was replaced by Richard L. George. Born in December 24th, Christmas Eve, 1957. He grew up in Birmingham, Michigan. Okay? He attended Walnut Lake Elementary School and West Neighbors Junior High School, where he met Sam Murray and Bruce Campbell. Spiegel worked at the grocery market across the Walnut Lake Elementary School. Okay? His career began with this. When Spiegel first moved to Los Angeles, he shared a house with film directors Raimi, Joe Gordon, and Evan Korn, and actresses Holly Hunter, Grace Frances McDormand, and Kathy Bates. He also shared yet another house with roommate and film editor Bob Mawaski, Spider-Man. In the early 90s, he introduced film director Joyce and Tarantino and to producer Lawrence Bender, who helped Toronto and get Royal Dogs made. In 1999, he also directed the direct-to-video sequel from Dusk to Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money. He also formed the production company Rolf Nerd with film directors L.A. Rolf and Boz Yakin. Rolf Nerd produced the film Hustle in 2005, directed by Rolf. Now, here are some films he had done. The Rookie in 1990. There's also and some other films. So, he did Spider-Man 2 as a rooftop pizza thief. He did Spider-Man 3 at the time, nor 1. So he did Drag Me to Hell in 2009 as a Murder and Death Feast, and so much more. Quicker the Dead 95 as a Gold Teeth Man, and a lot more. So, yeah. Spiegel passed away on Labor Day weekend. Labor Day. He was 67 years old. The next death topic has to do with Catherine, Duchess of Kent. Born, Catherine Lucy Mary Wolsey. She was a member of the British royal family. She was married to Princess Edward, Duke of Kent. Okay? A grandson of King George V. Okay? Catherine college in 1994, becoming one of the few members of the royal family to convert since the passing of Act of 1701. For over 3 decades, she was a member princess of Wilmington, where she presented the ladies' singles trophy. Became known for his warmth and compassion, like that. Anyway, a long-time supporter of music. She performed with several choirs and held honorary roles in musical organizations. In later years, she taught music in the primary school in the Kingston Opera Hall, where she is known for simply as Mrs. Kent. In 2004, she co-founded the charity Future Talent to support musical gift children to disadvantaged backgrounds. Following the death of Queen Elizabeth II on September 8, 2022, Catherine became the oldest living member of the British royal family, until her own death on September 4th, 2025. She was 92 years old. I'm not going to read the whole story behind her today, but that's the main case. But anyway, the last step topic was Rick Ray Davies. But Richard Davies, it was best known as an English musician, singer, and songwriter. Best known as the founder, vocalist, and keyboardist of the rock band Supertramp. Davies is the only guitarist member and composed some of the band's best known songs, including Rudy, Buddy Well Right, Crime of the Century, Ain't Nobody But Me, From Now On, Gone Hollywood, Goodbye Stranger, Just Another Nervous Wreck, My Kind of Lady, Cannonball, and I Beg You. His career was known as a rhythm of blues, piano solos, jazz take, professional rock, conventions, civic lyrics. Starting the self-titled debut album Supertramp in 1970, David started lead vocals of Supertramp songwriting partner Roger Hodgson, to the latter's departure in 1983, at which point he was been the sole lead vocalist in the triple group. He also voice was deeper than Hodgson's, and he usually deployed the raspy baritone voice. Which started contract with bandmate Timber. He usually sang in the visual, which especially runs with Hodgson's vocals, such as Goodbye Stranger and My Kind of Lady. Born on Southern Worcester on 1924, July 22nd, to Betty Dick Davies. Betty was a hairdresser that ran a showroom. Dick was a merchant Navy man who died in 1973. Anyways, Rick went to Sanford Street School, and according to his mother, music was his only thing he could ever any good at school. And misspelled the at once. Anyway, his first music stirrings were at the age of 8, where his parents gave him a second-hand radiogram, which includes a few records left by his previous owner. Anyways, along with them was Drum Man by drumming legend Gene Krupa, and Davies' own words, it's hit like a thunderbolt. Wow. I must have played it by 200 times, 2,000 times. So anyway, he said that was it. Family made made ships for that. Anyway, John came out of the visit for 10. Anyways, in an interview in 2002, he said, as a kid, I used to hear the drums marching along the street in England, in my hometown, where there was some kind of parade. It it was the most fascinating to me. Then eventually I got some drums and I took the lessons. I'm serious about it. I figured I could do that. I mean, a real drummer, reading music, playing with big bands, rock bands, classical, Latin, boring. I don't know. And that I was going to do. And that was a demon in my life. It was sad. Eventually, I was starting to fill in my keyboards, and that would seem to go over better than my drumming for some reason. So you gotta go what people react to. He never had lessons with keyboards, but according to Betty Davis, he thought himself most what he know about music. By 1979, his attention had to be captured by rock and roll. He joined by a band called TheCrazyBunch's. In 1962, he was studying the art department at Washington College with that. He formed his own band called Rick's Blues, and was now playing the honor electric piano instead of drums. But the band included Gilbert O'Sullivan on drums for a time. He later the best man Davies wedding. Wow. In March 1972 interview, O'Sullivan said Rick was originally thought me had to play drums and piano. He taught me everything about music. When his father became ill, Davis disbanded Rick's Blues, left college, took a job as a welder in Square D, from making industrial control parts and systems, when the factory in Saudi Mayor trade in Switzerland. And he helped our career when temporary put on ice. In 1966, he became the organist and only ones for best known for being one of Rain's first bands. But Rain had left by the time Davis joined. Anyways, who later changed their name to Joy and recorded the soundtracks in a number of German top films. He later confessed he lied about his abilities to get in the group, and then he could not actually play the organ at the time. When the band was in Mike, Davis met Dutch millionaire Stanley August Melchizedek Manat, who offered to fund him, and he started his new group. Eventually he did, and then Supertramp, so that's what he did. He decided to form a new band, and returned home from Switzerland, to place an ad in music magazine Melody Maker in August 1979. Roger Hodgson was auditioned, and despite their construction backgrounds, Davies' working class upbringing and Hodgson's private school education, the struggle of the instant rapper, they began writing virtually all their songs together. The band is actually called Daddy, and renamed Supertramp in January 1970. Supertramp became one of the first acts to be signed to the emerging UK branch of AM Records. And by summer 1970, they recorded their first album, simply called Supertramp. Okay. Hodgson performed most of his lead vocals on his first effort. By the time their second album, Anniversary Stamp, Davis had step up in his singer with Hodgson and him, sharing lead vocals duties equally. In 5 years, with Dodge and Hodgson, many says as a commercially exchanging group, Supertramp style the stable lineup and recorded Crimes of the Century, which probably brought their incredible and commercial success when it released in 1974. It reached number 4 on the UK albums chart, but the singles were only moderately successful. Their albums, Rituals, scored high in the charts. Davies' relationship with Hutchins, which changing the two, began writing the most songs success separated again. But they agreed to have them both all credited to David Hutchins by contract. Among the songs credited to both, but actually wrote solely by Davis, and the big hits Body Well Right and Goodbye Stranger. The group had relocated in the United States by 1977. It was there they recorded their best-selling album, Breakfast in America, April 1978 to February 1979. David Hodgson was operated by engineer Peter Hodgson Anderson. Wow, we get along practically well, and everyone was very happy. For the 1 months recording the mixing. David was credited with blowing the answer, writing the anniversary lyrics in the second chorus in Hudson's electrical song, with more hit singles than their first 5 albums. Combined, the album reached number 3 in the United Kingdom and top of the charts in America. Anyways, Hodgson quit Supergroup in that Supertramp, something like that, in 1983. David's relationship with him had terminated. Wow. The group's last hit was before his departure. My Lay featured little involvement with Hodgson, and he was writer the performer. Wow. The song was a showcase of David's vocal range, by him singing anyone from the booming and bass, and was posing foster over the natural rappers of baritone voice. With David's performing as a beverage helm, Supertramp returned to more non-commercial, progressive rock archery sound with the album Where You're Bound and Have Never Hit with Cannonball. Wow. Anyways, when the band continued to tour and record their for 5 years before disbanding, with the much more agreement between the members that Supertramp had run its course. In 1997, during the work of their what would have been his first solo album, Dave decided to reform Supertramp again. This plan probably returned to recording their tour, which yielded number 2 studio albums before they split again. Anyways, I spoke anyway. Supertramp reunited in 2010 in their 70-10 album tour, something like that. The 2015 tour is now been eventually canceled due to David's health issues, as he was battling multiple myeloma. In late 2018 of August, Lex Davis drew a rare interview in which he expressed that, for the most part, he was overcome his health problems and enjoyed playing music again. Something he could not do around since 2016 at all. But he was under medical treatment. Davis later performed a few tracks as Breaking the Rockets, like that. The rehearsal soundtrack in the bar along with Supertramp's current members. However, he was also stated that he was unlikely that they would ever perform again as Supertramp. Breaking the Rockets were performed on their show on June 10th, 2022. Stephen Talkhouse and undergrad set in New York. Personal life. Anyways, he married Sue. We have been Supertramp's manager since 1984 in 1977. His mother died in late 2008. As a nursing home in St. Margaret, he traveled from his Long Island, New York home every Christmas to visit her. His last trip back was in January 2009 to organize a memorial service for his mother. Davis owned the Race Davis Productions, was copyright holder of Supertramp's recordings. He was diagnosed with multiple myeloma and canceled the band's 2015 tour. He died yesterday, or 2 days ago, after one battle with cancer. He was 81 years old. Now let's do the moment of silence special regards to not 1, not 2, but 6 dev topics right now. Thank you. Rest in peace, 6 people. Now let's talk about 2 more news points to share. Now, it's come to my attention that Sesame Street will be coming to YouTube. The classic Sesame Street episodes are coming to YouTube in January 2026. Why is that? Well, think of it this way, okay? A Sunny Day is coming to YouTube. Our expanded partnership with Sesame Street. Now, as of last week, More families than ever before gathered around the TV screen to watch YouTube. Now, that's why we're excited to announce an expanded partnership with Sesame Street to bring more of their beloved content to families who are tuning in. The past year, Sesame Street's YouTube channel has gathered more than 5 billion views, a 140% increase year over year. For Sesame Street fans like me, this partnership is a natural fit. Anyways, on behalf of the original channel, YouTube watch time is already happens on connected TV screens. Beginning in January 2026, YouTube will have the largest digital library of Sesame Street content, however, with hundreds of full episodes that come to the platform. Alongside this collection of episodes, Sesame Street will continue its post-content created especially for the YouTube audience, all featuring the iconic and lovable Muppets of Sesame Street, as well as an expanded partnership with Sesame Street. The non-profit behind Sesame Street will draw up to 50 plus years of developing, research-driven, black children's media to lead a series of workshops with YouTube creators that to share the best practice and how to create content that's entertaining while also promoting learning. This partnership was another example of how we bring everything families will watch together in one place. On YouTube and YouTube Kids, fan favorites like Sesame Street is live alongside Miss Rachel, Doggyland, and Gabby's Dollhouse, giving families a single destination for all the content they love. Okay? We're excited to give those stories to families all around the planet. That's that topic for that's it for that topic. Now, I want to close our attention to this new support announcement. It has to do with Apple events starting tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are 22 hours away from the Apple event. Why is that? It's going to happen tomorrow. So, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be an LHBS special event coming tomorrow. And it starts at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to release this throughout the afternoon on my Rumble account. Be look out for it, so there you go on that. And fellas, that's all the topics for today. Fellas, this Crazy Bunch Web Show, episode number 122. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. So it's going to be another brand new episode of brand new boxing MMA channel, but I promise you Sunday will be another Crazy Bunch Web Show episode for you guys to enjoy. Anyways, till next time, so join us, my baby, with more Crazy Bunch Web Shows. Episodes could be guys pretty soon. Till then, the Jefferson out. See ya.